Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillah, welcome to Wonderhome Podcast. Right now with me, Shifa Amin, and my colleague here, Mas Rofiq. And we have two wonderful guests from United States, Dr. Ovamir Anjum. How are you, Dr. Anjum?
Alhamdulillah, thank you very much for having me.
You are very welcome. And Dr. Sari Hanafi from American University in Beirut, Lebanon. How are you?
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Fine.
Okay, thank you. And today we will talk about the current issue in the Ummah, which is the horrible situation in Gaza. And we have Dr. Sari Hanafi here, originally from Palestine, and then born and grew up in Syria, and right now reside in Lebanon. From your perspective, can you share with us what is actually happening there in Gaza right now?
Well, first let me say that the occupation on West Bank and Gaza has been so horrible in the last few years, and I would say since ages, that sociologically you cannot expect any pretty resistance. And I think this is what the Palestinian resistance did. I mean, a strong attack on Israelis, and of course Israel took this occasion to wage literally a genocide. What is going on now is absolutely a genocide. 6,320 Palestinian kids died. Now we almost reach 11,000 martyrs, and we don't not yet counted those who is under the rubble, and we don't know. I think it's a game changer for the relationship between Palestinian resistance and Israel, and a big message that sheep occupation is not anymore acceptable for the Palestinians. I mean, this is
genocide for you. I mean, what's happening there?
Yeah. I mean, for me, always I take two positions. I mean, first, I can say rationally, I agree, disagree, but it's very important to say whether sociologically there is other options. I think they have not been any other option for Palestinians. I mean, 232 Palestinians died from January to August, the end of August, to 2023. So how many? Maybe I will ask you whether it was in the media of Indonesia. It was not in any media. All this, killing 3-4 Palestinian daily, and so it's unacceptable. In addition of Al-Aqsa and all the desacralization of Al-Aqsa, which is a highly symbolic site for Muslims.
And Dr. Anjum, you also initiate what's so-called this Ummatics initiative, Ummatics Institute. This kind of tragedy, the genocide in Gaza, from the perspective of the Ummah, how do you see this?
Well, first of all, Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. I do not see that as a tragedy. Because the word tragedy has a Greek origin. And it means the grief, a catastrophe that has no closure, that has no meaning. But in this case, what I see is that on the part of the people that are suffering, the people of Palestine, for 75 years, they have been under occupation by a settler colonial regime. The British created a settler colonial Jewish state And they, through acts of terrorism, in fact, if you look historically, they invented terrorism. The early Jewish settlers in Palestine, European settlers, actually invented modern techniques of terrorism to terrorize, and this is documented by this remarkable Jewish Israeli historian Ilan Pape in his book, The Ethnic Cleansing of Palestine. Great detail. He is the leading historian of what happened in 1948. And going forward, those 75 years of occupation, settler colonialism, and every settler colonialism has a certain set of patterns. What is settler colonialism? We know colonialism. When you go, occupy, and extract resources from somebody else, right? Settler colonialism is that your interest is in taking their land. Of course, Jews go there with, or rather I should say Zionists go there, who are using Jews. Most Jews were not interested in leaving wherever they were living across the world and going to this place until, of course, the Great Tragedy. And that was perhaps in some ways a tragedy, the Holocaust. And I say it's a tragedy because they couldn't make sense of it. But Palestine, if you look at the people of Gaza today, if you look at their courage, if you look at their strength, if you look at their faith, do you know there are waves and waves of people on social media, young people in the United States and elsewhere that are converting to Islam, or at least there are tens of thousands of people are reading the Quran. You know why they're reading the Quran? Because they say what we are seeing in the people of Gaza, it's not normal. Human beings don't seem to behave that way anymore, right? These people have this power, this honor, right? They are, everything is taken away from them, and yes, they cry, but they don't give up hope. They're children. They pull out a child from under the rubble, and the child says, Al-Qudsu lana.
Al-Qudsu lana.
That holy land is ours. You cannot take that from us. That's not a tragedy. That's martyrdom. That's shahada. That's the people about whom the Quran says, وَلَا تَقُولُوا لِمَنْ يُقَتَلُ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَمْوَاتٌ بَلْ أَحْيَاءٌ عِنْدَ رَبِّهِمْ يُرْزَقُونَ.
So they become the lesson for us who live outside the Gaza.
Exactly. So if it is a tragedy, it is a tragedy for those Muslims who are abandoning them.
Abandoning them.
You know, when we describe our feeling right now, it's very much, I think, very complex. In one way, we have a grief, pain, and also we have sort of frustration. We see many people coming out to the street, go to the rally. Now it's getting bigger, but still we are powerless. Those who make the decision, and then those who make a narrative in formal media are still very much against us. How do you deal with the situation where we don't have something powerful to change?
Right.
We only we can condemn, everybody condemn, but in terms of power, we have no many influence on the ground.
Exactly. It's a great question. That's a question that people of intelligence and people with faith should be asking, which is, how do you stop this from happening? And how do you stop this from happening to Muslims? You know, there is an Israeli Jewish journalist, before this all happened, who commented when covering the Uyghur in China, that she made this comment that it is unbelievable. So she's a Zionist, an outsider, or sorry, not a Zionist, but an Israeli Jewish commentator, a journalist, who's saying that it seems that the world is closing down on Muslims from everywhere. And as an outsider, in India, 200 Muslims are facing this threat of genocide. You have the Kashmir, you have, of course, Palestine, you have the Rohingya, and this number is increasing. So an outsider can see that Muslims are being surrounded and being attacked everywhere. And we can do, you know, we can do a little bit of history of after global war on terror. Everybody's using that as a, but that's not, what I want to say is that precisely is the question we should be asking. And the answer is the ummah. Right? That's the purpose. You asked for the Ummatics Institute. The purpose is precisely to say we need to now bring the best minds of the ummah together to address this problem, to how to protect the weak Muslims, that even outsiders, right, everywhere can see.
They can see
that we are the target of many genocides, many massacres, many, you know, open and ethnic cleansings. But I don't want to pass by this word genocide that we used here. Since the Holocaust, we have not had in the modern world anything that even comes close to what is happening now. We have begun to use the word genocide for many things loosely, but this is the most scientific.
Rwanda, don't forget Rwanda.
Rwanda.
You have 800,000 killed in
Rwanda. Right,
12 days.
Right.
Yeah.
I take that back.
Yeah.
But there's a big difference between that is that the world is watching, and in this case,
and online.
They are online and they are announcing exactly that this is going to happen. So there is no shame, there is no, and the world is that, you know, in Rwanda the world failed to act quick enough.
Yes.
Okay.
But in this case, what you have is a televised butchering of Muslims.
Right.
And what is really remarkable is that if you ask for ceasefire, then you're a terrorist.
You're a terrorist. You're criminalized.
Yeah. Then you're a terrorist sympathizer.
Yeah. So let me be, to join my dear friend, and to be more concrete, I think we should not underestimate the importance of individual لا يغير الله ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم. We should start from even individual level. I mean, you should not stop spreading the truth, the information, using social media. If the BBC, Deutsche Welle, the German TV didn't tell the truth, send it by your social media. There is a campaign of helping people of Gaza with money, with food sometimes, and in Egypt, for instance, there is amazing work done now by Egyptian organization, etc. So I think this is a message. Don't feel hopeless.
Yeah.
I think it is. We need to accumulate. I mean, a small gesture from here, small from there, is very important. If you feel that there is a politician in your country compromising this clear ummatic, if you like, position, you should speak up. You should have the courage to say no. We will not be silenced. I mean, this is how I see. Right. You need really not to be hopeless. I mean, not to glue yourself to TV and start crying. Right. I mean, I don't watch.
I would say do that as well.
Do that,
but don't stop.
In addition,
how can you not do that? How can you not do that? But just to add to that, quite the contrary. The people in Gaza, how they're fighting. Well, in fact, how they are resisting. They're not fighting. This is not a war, right? This is just a spin craft. It's the media lies. There's no war. There's genocide. But with their courage, they have awakened the ummah, right? And this is the opportunity, just to add to what Dr. Sari said, we should see, first of all, what's happening across the world. The young people across the world are rising up. The global south is rising up. And how the people of Gaza, through their courage, as they are resisting this, they have shown this great, tremendous humanity. There was an American nurse who went there to serve.
Yeah, it was in CNN, I think.
It was on CNN, and I cried when I saw her testimony.
Absolutely.
I wasn't expecting anything new because I've heard everything, but what she said about the courage, the character of the Palestinian staff, the medical staff, how they were serving their people,
it's
right?
amazing.
And how they took care of her. That just brought me to tears. What character, what kind of iman these people, what kind of faith, right?
Exactly.
They remind you of the Sahaba, right? They remind you of the Prophet's companions. But what we should do is that we should also notice that they have changed the narrative. Before this, through these Abraham Accords, the Arab countries had sold out their own people sold out the Palestinians.
Yeah.
And now those things, those accords are dead.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about Abrahamic Accord? What does they do, and then what is the consequence of Abraham Accord to the Muslim countries or Arab countries?
If you like, I mean, the politics. Of course, the attempt to do normalization with Israel. I mean, since early 90s, if you like. So it's not new.
Okay.
But what is new is the Arab uprising weakened the Arab world, and the United States to grasp this occasion to deal with this weak nation states, each one, and to start doing a conditional aid, conditional service. You want to fight against Houthi, we can give you information, but you should do one. So they started from Trump very strongly that the condition is to normalize with Israel. So this is how countries like Morocco, like Bahrain, United Arab Emirates, Oman, and even the declaration of MBS about that very soon you will hear we will reach an agreement, and even he didn't use. Usually, you have the Arab what is called the Arab agreement. It's the Arab League. They decided to say the minimum we accept is the return of the territories of 1967, including Jerusalem, etc. So even MBS didn't mention this. He mentioned improving the situation of the Palestinian refugees, and this is any Israeli can say it. I mean, even Netanyahu, he always say, look, I am improving the situation of Palestinian, etc. So no sovereignty, no dignity of Palestinian, no. So this is the context, if you like, and this war in Gaza, I think, amazingly put all this. I mean, not only destabilize the normalization process and including Abrahamic Accord, but also they destabilize these countries. I mean, in Morocco, I heard from my friends that they have never seen such a huge demonstration in the last 20 years in Rabat, as it was because of Palestine. So I hope later on we realize that it's not only destabilize the settler colonial and apartheid regime in Israel, but also destabilize all this authoritarian regime in the Arab world.
In the Arab world as well. Okay, so it seems to be, if we rely on those countries who have the normalization or the Abrahamic Accord, seems to be hopeless if we are hoping them to do something. how then we can strengthen our hope? Where do we begin? For example, you said the demonstration in Rabat, Morocco, it give us a certain light of hope that the Ummah awaken themselves.
Right.
Is there any other occasions where we can have more power? Or
I think
that?
Last time in the United States, in Washington D.C., there was a big rally organized by 40 organizations, and 37 of them are non-Muslim organizations, right? Only 3 organizations are from Muslim community. So the support for Palestine is really increasing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you look through the waves of Muslims in the Muslim street across the world, it is shocked even those who knew that everybody Muslims' hearts beat for Palestine, and it's a holy place for us, right? After Mecca and Medina, it is Palestine, right? It is Al-Quds. It is the first of the Qiblas. So, but despite that, what we are seeing now is shocking of how Muslims are coming out and supporting. And what is also shocking is the kind of support we are seeing in among young Americans, young Europeans, right? Younger generations breaking away from
mainstream narrative.
The people of the older ones who have sort of this colonial mentality. Right? They are saying that you cannot do this to any human beings, the younger people, right?
Yes.
And just recently there was this 3,000 young Jewish protesters take over Grand Central Station.
Yes, New York.
In New York.
And they're saying not in our name.
Yes.
So that is possible because the people in Gaza are not giving up.
Are they Hasidic Jewish in New York, or it's just
no? These
reform?
These are progressive,
liberal,
across the board. Yeah.
And what is new is this alliance between black, if you like, the historical black movement with the Palestinian
Black Lives Matter
liberation movement in the United States. And I think we have a new generation. This is what shocked the British administration, but not only that, all the Western countries. What shocked them that you have a generation that they are not afraid, and they are not under the propaganda because the Jews have a Holocaust. That Israel have the full right of do whatever they want, and I always repeat that the way they defend right to defend itself is exactly right to eliminate the Palestinian people. So it's I think there is this conscience, and this is what is new, and this is what destabilize many universities, and they threat students, etc., because they're really destabilized by this new generations.
Okay, in Indonesia there is a podcast maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and debating whether this is actually the religious cause in fighting in Gaza right now, or it is actually nationalist cause. For example, the guest in that podcast saying, okay, I'm pro-Palestinian, but I'm not pro-Gaza. I'm not pro-Hamas. I'm not pro-Fatah. I am pro-Palestinian.
Right.
I'm not condemning or praising what Hamas did. What do you think about this issue? Whether, for example, Fatah Hamas division?
First of all, I mean, people their moral reasoning is always in a complex way.
Okay.
It's not either or. I mean, for some, this is a real religious duty to support justice.
Okay.
I think we demonstrate in Lebanon, in Jerusalem, in many places where I lived in Egypt, about South Africa and against apartheid, and the victim of the injustice was not Muslim. So if you like, so the seeking justice, some consider it religious duty, other consider it like humanistic duty, or sometimes nationalistic duties. So it's not either or, but if you like, I mean, naming. I mean, this is what the Israeli propaganda did and the American propaganda, that you need to localize the Palestinian resistance in an entity to declare it as a terrorist organization. They cannot say Palestinian people. We never hear a people is terrorist. So you need to localize it. Localize it in. Look, I will give you example. I mean, the problem of the Europe, that they're imaginary that a secular person cannot do something wrong. The leading sociologist in France, Alain Touraine, I have a debate with him in 1992 or in Paris, and he said, so he used the word miracle, how Israel received 150,000 Russian Jews in a lapse of 1 year. I told him, what miracle you are saying? It's a settler colonial project. They put it in West Bank, etc. And he interrupted me. He say, Sari, this is the biggest chance for the Palestinian people that this secular, because they come from Communist Party, these Jews, that they will completely change the equation, and you can pass your peace process now. So it's absolutely hilarious. I mean, how he didn't think that the secular France who colonized Algeria so all this fantasia. So Hamas is a Islamic resistance. It's by excellence. I mean, it's a objective to declare it as a terrorist. And then what we will do is say, okay, we will curse Hamas, like to please them, but we say we are with Palestine. No, this is why I started my analysis to say, if the settler colonial and apartheid system is so ugly, don't expect the resistance to be pretty. This is a very important. Sociologically, you cannot be like this. What happened in Gaza is exactly like in 1941 in Poland, the surge of the ghetto Jews against the might. Warsaw Uprising. It was in the front of a mighty German army. They killed 13 German soldiers, and the retaliation, destruction of this ghetto, and killing 1,500 Jews. Wow. So how? I mean, this is cannot be do a mathematical calculation.
No.
I mean, my dear friend Ovamir, I mean, insist in the concept of a trial, al-ibtila. I mean, it's another calculation.
Right.
Is a very different from calculation how much you and how much me. So I think this is what we should remember. We should remember that the Negro uprising in United States, where this I forgot which year, where the motto was kill every white. But historians, I mean, they consider it. This is the foundational act of violence to say enough is enough. We need our liberation. Of the end of the slavery. So I think you should to do such reading and not calculative, and to be very careful about to say I am with Palestinian but not with this.
With a certain faction,
Right. Okay. No, I think that again I want to start with or reiterate what Sari just said, that framing. If you want to understand where the media's guidelines and script is coming from, it is coming from Tel Aviv. And you can see that even American president is reading out the misinformation
about killing the 40 babies,
right? Beheading babies.
Yes.
So even he is following the line, like from White House to BBC to CNN and then Fox News has no limits, right? Fox News' only job is to outdo anybody else in calling for the genocide and turning. This has become a political game in the United States. But what's also interesting, you'll see that if you look at the map, I was just looking at a map of the countries that are supporting this ongoing genocide and countries that are opposed to it. It'll be a great history lesson. Every colonizer in the last 150 years is on the side of Israel, and every country that saw colonialism, that was a victim of colonialism, is on the side of Palestinians. So the world is divided so cleanly today between the colonizers and the colonized. And in reality, go back to this issue of framing, it's not Hamas versus Israel. It is actually Netanyahu against the Palestinians. That's the actual correct framing.
What you mean one person?
What I mean is that it's Netanyahu's political career that is on the line, which is why he wants to continue this and find a political solution, because he himself is facing trial. And he's using his army IDF, but Israelis, who are, of course, they have, they are a settler colonial people. They have moved extreme right, but they want to get rid of him, and they want to get rid of this problem. But for him, it is he who is continuing the genocide. So that would be the more accurate framing.
Absolutely. Look. For me, I am Palestinian, but I said I use the same stick yard to judge any violation of human rights. It's unacceptable any indiscriminate any act where you not discriminate between combatant and non-combatant. Okay, but again,
that's the fundamental Islamic rule of engagement, right? And the Prophet ﷺ very clearly says this, and Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, right, clearly. So this is Muslim. There's no question and no doubt among Muslims that you do not kill civilians intentionally.
Civilians are not combatants.
Right? That's not even a question. But it's the framing that's misleading.
Absolutely. And one of the framing is to start thinking, starting from 7 October.
Right.
I mean, this is the point that after taking a moral position, you should say, you cannot start talking from 7 October. Again, I can return to 48, of course. But I mean, let's see what's happened in the last 2 years. I mean, the number, ratio between Israeli humanness and Palestinian human animalness. Remember what the Ministry of the Defense said. The ratio, the exchange rate is 21 times. It means that Israel, from 2008, all the statistics I brought today is UN statistics. From 2008 until the end of August 2023, you have 21 more killed Palestinian than than Israeli. 21
times.
So
21 times.
I mean, we forgot in human rights the proportionality. If you don't do proportionality, is a war crime. And actually, what Israel is doing now is not war crime; it's a crime against humanity. It's really genocide. It's a crime against humanity.
Right.
So this is talking about framing. We should start talking what happened. How come since the beginning of Oslo process 30 years ago, that number of settlers in West Bank it tripled 3 times. I mean, what a peace process that you negotiate and you construct. So if you don't understand this background, you don't understand the anger of Palestinian resistance.
Right.
But I want to go back to the question that you asked about, is it an Islamic problem? And I want to start by reiterating Sari's answer, that every problem of justice, everyone where there are mustadafin, there are people that are being oppressed.
Regardless of whether they are Muslim or no.
Regardless of whether Muslim or not, this is an Islamic problem. That's number one. Number two, those, if they are Muslim, if they are believers, then your responsibility is far greater. It's like as if your children are under attack. When your children in your neighboring city are under attack, that's your problem. But when your children are under attack, that is your problem in a whole new way. So that's number two. Number three, what would we do as an ummah if Medina were under attack? If Israel occupied Medina and killed its people and its children and bombed the masjid, what would you do? Would you say the same thing? What would our political leaders today who are saying that we should normalize with Israel, what would they be saying? And look at the ummah, the Muslims everywhere, in the West, in the East, everywhere in the Muslim world, they are coming out with a single voice in support of the Palestinians. Some are supporting because they see their humanity, others are supporting because they see that they're Muslim brothers and sisters, others supporting because this is about Al-Quds, and most are supporting because they see all of those things, and they see more. There are people who have suffered colonialism. So actually, if you look at the most rigorous and most powerful moral support is coming from people like in South Africa or Latin America
or Ireland.
Or Ireland, because they know what it means to have somebody humiliate you and kill you and then lie about you and then change the story to make you.
But except India.
Except
India. Actually used to be until now.
The current
Actually, really, I mean, if I look to the map, I mean, this is a global north against a global south, with some exception like India, but remember why Bolivia is severe. It's
they even kick out the ambassador.
The ambassador, it's severe completely. I mean, it's not withdraw.
No Arab countries kick out the ambassador of Israel.
No Muslim country.
Not even Turkey.
No Muslim country. No Muslim country has done that. And the ummah, the millions of masses that are coming out, should be asking. We should be asking, why is it that the Muslim ummah stands on one side and their leaders stand on the exact opposite
sides?
How does that happen?
Why is there was always a split between Jamahir and the leaders?
Exactly.
And the government.
Yeah, this is why I insist on the problem of authoritarianism and the seek for shura democratic system is really very, very important.
Okay. Yeah, this is pretty long discussion if you want to continue, but since the time is very limited for
probably the last question, very practical question. As a biggest Muslim country but located in a very peripheral area, what can we do as a nation, as a mu'min?
Absolutely.
Where do we go from here?
And I want Sari to start thinking about that as well, but 3 things that come to my mind and that every Muslim should do, every single one of us should be doing. Number one, BDS.
Boycott, divestment,
Boycott,
sanction.
divest,
and sanction.
Know the products that belong to Israel. Boycott them. Do not buy them. Do not eat at McDonald's or Starbucks and look at the list of each one of those things and go and talk about it in your school, talk about it to your family. Just tell people.
And Muslim organizations should make this as
organizations should make this list available. It should be available at every masjid, right? Because this hurts more than almost anything else.
Okay.
So BDS, become involved, become part of that. It hurts, and it is part of the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. We have evidence that the Prophet ﷺ used this against the Meccans when Muslims were being oppressed by the Meccans. And I have an article at Yaqeen Institute co-written with Sheikh Omar Suleiman, where we talk about how the Palestinian struggle is very close to the Prophet's own jihad in Mecca. It's almost, and so I suggest you read that and especially see how the Prophet ﷺ used various means, especially financial boycott, right? Number one. Number two, use, especially young people who are on social media, you posting about it. After you learn about it, make it available. That makes enormous difference. You may be thinking that, a lot of people are posting. But remember, you may simply be in those circles, right? In those circles where people are posting. When you post, you have new friends and new circles and new people and that might lead to breaking through into new areas, into new, if you will, silos in social media. So, and first, of course, you will stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and
make a dua.
ask, what did you do? And finally, the number three, as you said, make dua, sincere dua to Allah. Shed tears. If you are not crying about what is happening to human beings, if they were human beings, just if they were animals, I swear, if animals were being killed and helplessly trying to run away, imagine just cows or sheep that are being shot from the air and they were trying to run away. I swear by Allah that our hearts would weep for them, that animal rights UN would be there, that the people who are doing the harming, the animal rights people would be there, and those who are doing it would be criminalized and punished. How is it that when these people who are not only humans, they're good human beings. They are like the humans that I was thinking about that how far better they are than us, than the kind of human beings, the modern well-fed human beings that we see, that they support each other, they don't give in. So those three things I say: make dua,
BDS, and
social media,
I think. Sorry.
In Arabic we say Yislam Tummak. I think I have almost nothing to say, but maybe I will add one or two. We underestimate how, part of the Palestinian problem is Palestinian refugees. And myself, I grew up quarter of century as a refugee.
And you were born
in a refugee camp,
Yarmouk
refugee camp, which is now destroyed in Syria. So I would say you are faculty in university. Try to provide scholarship to
for Palestinians. We do
Palestinians.
In Muhammadiyah.
We do.
Try to collect money, and all in addition with the fundamental issues you raise. I think you want to be practical. Really, this is very helpful, and this is how you empower with knowledge Palestinian people to resist more against settler, colonial, and apartheid system in Palestine.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Anjum, Dr. Sari.
So we need to do this. So BDS, social media posting regarding this genocide and our support for the Palestinian cause, and also sincere dua, and as well as if you can raise fundraising or whatever we can help to help the Palestinian people, let's do that. So whatever we can. So, inshallah. Thank you very much for coming. Hopefully this conversation is beneficial for our viewers.
Shukran jazeelan.
Thank you very much.
And inshallah.
And I want to say, I have been in Indonesia. This is my first time in my life
in
Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
And I love Indonesia.
Thank you.
I love Indonesians. And I'm so excited about introducing the world to Islam I see in Indonesia, the beautiful practices I see.
Alhamdulillah.
May Allah increase you all in peace and prosperity. May Allah make you a role model for Muslims around the world.
Here. You know, in English we say, I support, agree fully.
How about the food that you just experienced everywhere?
Yeah, this is my second time in Indonesia. Really, I'm so honored of these invitations, and really I want to reciprocate. To bring Indonesian scholar, I mean, to the Arab world. I think we need your spirit, your scholarship. I think I'm very impressed by Muhammadiyah as a organization, as a membership. I mean, this as a civil society, really it's a model, and I hope the Arab and the Muslim world will hear about it.
Learn about it. Okay. Ameen ya Rabbal Alamin. Again, thank you very much. Shukran jazila wa jazakumullah khair. Inshallah, I'll see you again next time, and looking forward for the further collaboration with all of you. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.